The 2020 Minnesota Fighting Vikings defense was one of the worst in National Football League history. And you know that it was bad when you have Mike Zimmer to admit that some changes need to be made and his defense has to be evolving to match up with ever-evolving and changing and modernizing offenses. It's weird, right? I mean, Zimmer was embarrassed, especially after he boasted that he never had a bad defense before. So now the Vikings are loading up in free agency and are trying to get back to where they once belonged as one of the best defenses in the NFL, and I think they could. So here are 5 tweak suggestions for the Zimmer Hellfire defense as, welcome to the 21st century, baby. Let's go. Number 1, use more 3-man fronts. Now, this is not advocating a full-time move to a 3-4, which, it's a sub-package league anyway, so nickel is the new base, so it's kind of a moot point. But Zimmer has been a 4-3 guy forever. 7 years in Minnesota, same thing back in Cincinnati with Marvin Lewis, same thing that 1 year in Atlanta. Gutless bastard Bob Petrino. He does have some 3-4 experience with Bill Parcells in Dallas, and the idea of a 3-man front is that offenses don't know who that 4th rusher is going to be. Is it going to be the Sam linebacker, the Mike, the Will, the Jack, safety, whatever, or is it going to be 5 or 6 rushers? Also, conversely, the quarterback doesn't know who's going to be dropping where. Is it going to be man? Is it going to be zone? Is it going to be zone blitz? All of those things. Plus, Michael Pierce is that dude when it comes to a 3-man front nose tackle. At that 0 tech spot, head up against the center, controlling both A-gaps, getting a mitt into each guard as well, and he's that guy. And then Diesel Dalvin Thompson can be a nose tackle in sub package, can shade 1 tech or 5 tech. Plus, guys like Jalen Holmes and James Lynch and Hercules Mataafa, who haven't really been used to their potential yet, their best position may be that 5 tech or a defensive end in a 3-man front and getting after it. And these 3-4 looks could be a myriad of things. A 3-4 base, a 3-3-5 nickel, a 3-2-6 dime, whatever. Just cause more confusion and get more creative up front as opposed to first down cover 2, second down cover 2, third down, double A-gap mug look on third down. That's crazy. I think the league caught up to that. Next up, tweak number 2 for the Zimmer Hellfire defense. Use Anthony Barr as a pass rusher. Now, this is part and parcel to more 3-man fronts, plus it's not an accident that Anthony Barr has a sack incentive in his redone deal. And Anthony Barr is a pass rusher that you just jammed into a 4-3 Sam off-ball linebacker. So, it's whatever, right? Dude had 23.5 sacks his final 2 years in college at UCLA and does have an 18.13% career pressure rate in the NFL when you allow him to rush a passer as opposed to just dropping in the coverage, right? So have him rush more from the edge, from the A-gap, from the B-gap. And like we said, part and parcel to more 3-man fronts is like, is Anthony Barr going to be blitzing this down or is he not? I don't know. We need more confusion. Also, that goes for guys like DJ Wonnum, Steve Weatherly, Jordan Brailford, and Blake Lynch. All had some stand-up rushing experience in college, so use that to your advantage. Next up, thing number 3 to tweak on the Zimmer Hellfire defense 2021, more disguised coverages. And Zimmer's never really been about getting tricky. It's sort of what you see is what you get. Our guys versus your guys, best of luck to you. But it's usually, cover 2 or man or zone or Tampa 2 zone, etc. But adding more layers and complexity to that onion to confuse quarterbacks and offense coordinators, that's what you got to do now, right? You cannot just line up and play ball. You can do that when you have superior athletes at all levels. But as you saw in 2020, once the talent gap widens, not so much. So show cover 1 man, and then roll into Tampa 2, and then let the quarterback just throw the skinny post right at Eric Kendricks. Ooh, turnover, baby. Or show zone, and then lock into a cover 0 press man blitz under smoke. Just get after it. Thing number 4, Vikings need to change from the 2021 defense. Use Patrick Peterson properly. And it does seem like Patrick Peterson is going to be a cornerback. He said that in his presser. Zimmer said that as well. Spielman said that as well. For now. But Zimmer and P Square need to check the egos and accept that he is not the Patrick Peterson of old. He's not a cornerback 1 anymore. So in division, he's not going to be locked up on Devontae Adams, who's not as good as Justin Jefferson, Allen Robinson, if he still plays on his franchise tag, or Devontae Smith. And then you just set it and forget it and don't give them any help. Now, he ain't that guy anymore. But he still has a ton of value with his instincts and playmaking ability. But the Vikings need to give him help. They need to give him safety help over the top, rolling coverage, disguising coverage like we talked about. 2 of his 3 picks last year came off a disguise. And also a neat trick that the Patriots did a handful of years ago when they had Darrelle Revis was lock Revis on the other team's wide receiver 2 and then take the other cornerback, in this case Dantzler, on the wide receiver 1 and then help with safety or bracket coverage. So I think that Patrick Peterson still has enough smoke to lock down wide receiver 2s and could be a decent plan to implement at times next year. His downfall in Arizona was Vance Joseph be like, hey, 30-year-old Patrick Peterson, go lock up on DK Metcalf. Budda Baker won't give you any safety help because he's doing Budda Baker things, and yeah, we'll see what happens. No, it's a horrible idea. And that's why he failed last year. And lastly, tweak number 5 for the Minnesota Vikings defense this year. Moneybacker is now a base position. It is. You have a division where you have TJ Hawkinson twice a year, Robert Tonyan, who is a wide receiver, but whatever, and also Cole Kmet. Plus on the schedule, you have Mark Andrews of Baltimore and George Kittle of the Niners. Hey, diddle diddle, George Kittle running up the middle. So you're going to have to cover these tight ends, and it's a cat and mouse league. Right now, tight end, especially move tight ends, are in vogue because they're too big for a safety. They're too fast for a linebacker. So you need those tight end erasers. You need a small outside linebacker or a big safety to be able to match up. And the Vikings did have that in Jaron Kearse. Not anymore, but now you need to make it more of a fixture of your team. So that's why Blake Lynch, a guy who's played running back, wide receiver, linebacker, cornerback, safety at Baylor, the UDFA last year, is intriguing. I think he should be a more integral part of the defense this year. Plus, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that the Vikings maneuver around the first round and get Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the tight end eraser from Notre Dame. The hard-hitting linebacker safety would love him. Jamin Davis from Kentucky blew up. Divine Diablo, the safety for Virginia Tech. Or a guy like Jacoby Stevens from LSU very later on in the draft. All intriguing. So that's one of the wrinkles that the defense is going to have to implement. Is like, hey, we have trouble matching up against tight ends. The Vikings have traditionally given up big-time fantasy points to opposing tight ends. That needs to stop. That needs to stop right now as tight ends continue to evolve from just inline hand-the-dirt guys to out of the X, out of the Z, at the Y, in the slot, all those things. So the Vikings need to start shutting down tight ends and Moneybacker, man. Get that in there. So that's it. Those are 5 humble suggestions, 5 little tweaks, well, little tweaks, not like Zimmer tweaks, of the Zimmer Hellfire defense in 2021 to get them back to being top dog in the league. But what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Pull some of the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.